Hey folks, welcome. Here we discuss real stories by real people. Today we have the story of a man who finds his girlfriend on a date with another man in a restaurant he works at. Let's see how it goes. Story 1. I'm a cook who works at one of the finest establishments in my area. I've been on the line for years, and over the course of my career, I've gotten familiar with the regulars and their orders. Favorite dishes, dietary restrictions, specific requests, that sort of thing. However, there's one girl who came in wanting something I'll never forget. She said she loves sweet, creamy dishes, but she was lactose intolerant and on a diet that restricted her sugar intake. Her order confused the entire kitchen. How could they make something creamy and sweet without any milk or sugar? However, I found a way to make it work with a coconut milk-based dish. When it was ready, I watched her with bated breath from the kitchen door to see if she liked it, and she loved it. She started coming in regularly, asking for something new with the same restrictions. Creamy and sweet, but with no milk and as little sugar as possible. A culinary impossibility that gave me ample opportunity to experiment. As she kept coming in, I kept trying new things, some of which worked better than others, but she loved every single meal that I made for her. Eventually, we got acquainted with each other as something more than chef and customer. And she said she wanted a kind man who knows how to cook, and I fit the bill perfectly. She quickly became my favorite part of coming to work and a familiar face when I head home. However, I must not have filled her heart the same way I filled her stomach. Because one day, I saw her at a table with another man. I was supposed to have that day off, but my boss called me in because they were short-staffed. A regular frustration in my line of work. Meanwhile, my girlfriend was out meeting someone. She said it was an old friend from her school days, and by the time I got the call, she was already gone. When I got to the restaurant, they were backed up with the orders. I immediately understood why they needed me to come and lend a hand. I barely had any time to put my apron on before I was met with a massive pile of tickets. I worked through them as fast as I could without sacrificing any of the care that fine dining requires. Suddenly, in the middle of the rush, I saw a ticket with a familiar order. Cashew cream Alfredo pasta with a cupcake for dessert. I immediately knew who it was for and prepared it with extra care, as well as the second dish in the ticket who must have been the old friend she was supposed to meet. When it was ready to be sent out, I watched her again from the kitchen door. But that's when I saw her with another man, with their forks in each other's mouths. I was devastated, but I tried to press on, kept trying to distract myself with my cooking. However, I couldn't keep her out of my mind, and it led to me slipping up, cutting myself, and getting sent back home for the day. I'm still processing it. I don't know what I'm supposed to do next. Not even if I got another ticket from her. Welcoming any and all advice. Update. After her date, she acted like everything was normal and nothing had changed between us. However, I knew she was losing faith in our relationship, and I decided that I'm going to show her why you need to trust your cook. As I mentioned earlier, she's lactose intolerant, and with the kind of dishes she likes, it's been a challenge to make something she enjoys but can also digest without any problems. And I decided that I was going to cause a problem. I couldn't just make a dish normally without any dairy substitutions. She'll immediately taste the difference. Instead, I'll order lactose powder online and add a little bit to her next dish. The flavor of the powder will blend in with the dish. She won't suspect a thing until it's too late. When it finally makes its way through her digestive system, it'll have a laxative-like effect. It won't hurt her in any way, it'll just be unpleasant. And while she's struggling on the toilet, I'll tell her what's happening. But more importantly, why I did it. Hopefully, it'll be enough to make her understand why we need some trust in this relationship. We'll update again when the lactose arrives. Last update. The lactose arrived, and I decided to do a taste test before I use it in a dish. It had a slightly milky flavor and had a subtle sweetness to it, but mostly just tasted like powder. I could easily work it into one of my girlfriend's dishes without her tasting anything off. The serving size was 2 teaspoons, but it takes 3 tablespoons for a lactose-intolerant person to feel any effects. So I measured out exactly that much, with a dash extra for good measure, and put it in a little baggie that I would carry with me to work. Just had to hope that nobody sees it because that thing looked suspicious as hell. Eventually, she came back to the restaurant and ordered her favorite dish again. This was my chance. While nobody was looking, I poured the powder into the sauce and mixed it in until it was undetectable, and tasted it to make sure nothing was noticeably different than before. Her order was complete, so I handed it over to the server and watched from the kitchen again as she ate it, and she did. Like always, she cleaned her plate and loved every single bite. However, she wasn't going to be loving it anymore once the lactose started kicking in. When the server came back with the check, she made a gesture on her stomach, quickly paid, and ran to the bathroom as fast as she could. Right as she went in, I told the manager that I needed to use it too and followed her to the door. The restrooms in our restaurant are the kind that only one person at a time could use, so I didn't have to worry about anyone overhearing our conversation. I knocked on the ladies' room door, and right away she shouted "occupied" at me, followed by a pretty nasty sound. I told her that it's me and listed off the symptoms she should be experiencing: diarrhea, nausea, bloating, gas, stomach cramps. Sound familiar? She realized that she felt those exact symptoms before and knew what was up. She asked me why I put lactose in her food, and I told her that I saw her on that date, and I demanded to know who it was. In between a lot of groans and with some gross noises echoing behind her words, she told me that man was one of her old exes, someone she stopped seeing a long time ago and that she doesn't intend to start seeing again. Seems like I might have jumped the gun a little bit, but there was no denying what I saw. Lactose powder wasn't the only thing I brought with me. I also had a bottle of Pepto-Bismol in case things went wrong, and I wanted to hand it over as a peace offering. I told her that if she promised not to see the man again, I would give her the bottle. And almost right away, she peeked open the door, reached out her hand, and made a gimme gesture. The odor that came out of that stall was nothing short of abominable. It smelled like death itself had died and the body was left to rot. She only opened the door enough to fit her hand through, and it was only open for a few seconds, but the smell made me come close to throwing up. After she took a big swig of medicine, I asked her if she understood why we needed trust in her relationship. She said yes, she understands completely, but that's exactly why she can't be in a relationship with me after what I did. She said that every single time she eats one of my meals, she puts all her trust in me, that there's nothing wrong with the dish and that I prepared everything correctly, and I had just violated that trust. Now that our trust has been broken both ways, she's not ready to put it back together again. And truth be told, I wasn't either. Even knowing that she isn't seeing that man anymore, I don't feel any better about her going behind my back. After that night, we went our separate ways. Even if that lactose stunt didn't make me feel any better, that confrontation definitely did. And now that we've had it, I honestly think that this is for the best. Thank you guys for all your support. Goodbye and good night. Your relationship ending was a good thing, OP. You both don't seem to like each other very much. I feel like she liked you because of your dishes, and you liked her because she liked your dishes. Your ex-girlfriend should have told you beforehand about her date, especially if the date will be happening at the restaurant you work at. This way, you wouldn't have felt betrayed. And you should have never added lactose powder to her meal. She was right about trusting you with her meal, and you betraying that trust just to get back at her when you could have sat her down for a conversation instead. That was a bad thing to do on your part. Overall, ending the relationship was the best thing for both of you. Story 2. I-30 male was starting to notice little changes. Not saying she loves me, making plans with other people rather than me, etc. I finally gave in and looked at her 29 female Facebook. There it was. She had gotten in touch with a friend from high school a few months ago. It progressed from there. Sex messages, cybersex, pictures, talking about meeting up and kissing. She told me she was going to hang out with friends tonight, but she's going to his place to spend the night. They planned out what they were going to do to each other. Because she wasn't answering her phone, I sent her text messages saying I knew what she was doing. I begged her to come home, and I begged her to come talk to me. She only said she was sorry, think about what I want to say to her, and she'll be home in the morning. I'm a wreck. I love her so much. I don't know what to do. Edit. We haven't been great for a little while, but I always told her I'd do anything to keep us together. I've been trying and she knows. She's even said she noticed. I know I can be stubborn, but so can she, and I've always asked her to just talk to me. She deleted the messages before I could take screenshots of them. Now I have no physical proof. I should mention there are no kids involved. We rent a flat, no combined debt. I don't think I can afford a lawyer right now. We were together for 9.5 years, married for 3. Update. I've sent her a message stating that it might be better if she rides with her parents to the family Thanksgiving, and that it might not be the best time for her to come home. I plan on calling her parents later tonight or tomorrow to let them know how much I appreciate them and all they've done, and then tell them what happened. I can't stand the idea of them thinking this was all my fault. I'll keep everyone posted. Second update. She admitted to sex with the other guy this morning. I called her dad to let him know the situation, give him my love, and tell them how much I'll miss them. Her dad, like myself, didn't see it coming. This is so devastating. Last update. She's finally started to respond to messages. Basically, she said there are too many things about me that she doesn't think I can change. I could provide examples for my attempts and examples of improvements, but it seems like she's dead set on saying I'm not good enough. She just keeps saying she's done and she's given up on us. I told her the guy she's cheating with isn't the answer, and she said she knows, but it's gotten her to end us quicker than expected. Your wife checked out of the marriage, OP. She didn't need to go down the infidelity path to show it to you, but I guess it's the easier way to show it to you. The fact that she didn't turn back and didn't freak out after you told her you knew what she was about to do proves it. It also proves that she no longer cared about you or your marriage. Counseling will do nothing for you both. Divorcing her is the only thing that you can do. Your marriage is over, OP. Stay strong and remember that it will get better. All this pain will pass and you'll be happy you made this decision. Take care, OP. Now for some comments. As I consider this, you have to recognize the difference in mentality. It's one thing to sneak a cookie when you're a kid when your parents are looking. Consider just how different your mindset would have to be to get caught. Have them tell you no, and then say F it and go for it right in front of them. Get your business in order. Time to end this and move on. I'm sorry, you didn't deserve this treatment. She's made her choice quite cruelly and coldly. This is going to hurt for a long time. Nothing will make it better. But one day you'll wake up and you'll be angry rather than hurt. And one day, maybe a long time after that, you'll just be sad and be able to move forward. One day this will be just a horrible memory. Stay strong. Is this what you deserve, OP? Is this the kind of woman you want to be your wife? If you want to settle with a woman that will treat you like dog shit, then take her back. What she did was heartless. She planned this out and she had no remorse when she got caught. This is beyond what most people would forgive. The fact that she didn't even pretend to be sorry for what she did to you says so much about her character. She doesn't love you. Maybe she did a long time ago, but that ship has sailed. She's no longer the woman you plan to spend your life with. I'm so sorry you're going through this, but I believe you know what the best option for you is.